There was a huge learning curve for me with digital radio. I come from an analog world, and most of what I do is in the analog world. So I had to learn everything from what a broadcasting tool is to how to operate the radio platform. I have relied heavily on the instructional videos that Radio.co offers. I've pretty much learned everything I know about running the station as far as the platform and digital side goes from those videos.
Well, first of all, we couldn't broadcast without Radio.co, so that's highly important. Like, everything we do runs through it. And I think when we first started out, like, a big question was like, how are we going to broadcast? And we had so many different conversations, but the one that just made sense to us was Radio.co. Like, it was so simple to set up. It's so easy to use, and like all of our interns come in, they've never had any training before, and I'm like, this is Radio.co, let's do this. And it's just like picked up so quickly, but it's also really accessible. Like, let's say there's an emergency and their show isn't scheduled in, or the right file isn't in the like playlist. I can be out at dinner, get a text message that that's wrong, go on my phone and switch it up and change it immediately. For an internet radio station, we're always out and about, and to have that was like so key. It was so necessary, because otherwise that would be an actual emergency. But now I can be like, boop, 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 we're done, we move, we're fine. So that was huge. And it just like, yeah, by using it all of the time, like that's how we use everything, they're helping us spread our message constantly.
Hey Alexa, launch Shady Pines Radio.
Playing Shady Pines Radio.
Radio.co is pretty sweet. It makes creating a radio station obtainable for anybody who's willing to put in a little bit of time. It's really pretty accessible and pretty intuitive. Yeah, it's powerful tools that are easy to use.
Radio.co has been super helpful in the process of creating Cybercrime Radio. Going into this, not many of us really knew what we were doing about creating a radio station, but once we found Radio.co, the process was just immediately laid out in front of us, really helpful, really straightforward. And a great element that I've found has been their support staff, their customer service. You guys, Radio.co is just always there when I have a question, always willing to take the time to explain things to me on a really basic level so that I understand. I could not live without Radio.co's playlist tool. It makes my job so much easier. It is really organized, really great, and the tagging in itself is life-saving on a daily basis. We use it in a more unique way, I think, but it makes my job a lot easier. It's amazing. I love it.
We are in an internet generation, and obviously it's a digital platform. Through Radio.co we managed to set up the radio, which is quite interactive.
It's a really accessible platform. Yeah, it's a really accessible platform. It's really simple to use. There's a really kind of active relationship there. It's a really great platform for that.
To find a hosting for Soho Radio was quite difficult for me. So when looking for a new streaming company, there was a load of issues that we'd already started having that we wanted to fix. You know, one of them was the reporting, because it's really interesting to, you know, it's really important to know where your listeners are coming from, who they are. With Radio.co, that's great. And the scheduling system. And, you know, it's been great. We'll carry on for another 10 years.
These guys are fantastic. They get it. They know what we're about. There are other suppliers that we engage that just not really that bothered. And, well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Radio.co, oh my, you send them a problem at Sunday night. They won't thank me for saying this, but they will go out of their way to solve that there and then. They're a vibrant young team. They know radio. They know their stuff. And one of our first test transmission responses and feedback was the sound quality.
Radio.co is actually pretty vital to broadcasting the audio for our radio shows onto our website. They're basically the little interface that hooks up our mixer onto our website, and it allows us to program live shows. It allows us to re-loop older shows, and it also allows us to put playlists on. And this is just constantly running on our website.
It was actually surprisingly very easy, because Radio.co just gives you a URL, and my developers looked at a range of solutions, and when they looked at Radio.co, they were like, this is easy, like we just take that URL, it's a live feed, and then they just put a mask on it. So they put a thumbnail on it, and added it into the subscription platform by creating a separate page called Live Audio, and then people just click on that. If they're subscribed, they just press play, and it takes like 5 seconds or so for the audio to start streaming, and then that's it. It's simple. It's just a simple process.
And just before you go, how would you like to launch your very own online radio station? Surprisingly, it's a lot simpler than you may think. And the absolute best way to get started is by chatting to myself or another member of the Radio.co team. To do that, just head to radio.co/demo to schedule a video call with us, where we'll discuss your plans, answer your questions, and of course, guide you around the Radio.co software.